Hey guys, it's Tanner Manson from Future Investing, and today I want to talk to you about the survival of the cruise sector. What's going to happen? Is there an opportunity here to put some money in it? Or are we all going to lose our money and this boat's going to sink? Let's jump right into it. Just as a disclaimer, although I am actually a licensed financial security advisor as my full-time job, none of these stocks or topics that we talk about today are in any way my recommendation. This is merely my opinion, and you can choose to do what you wish with this information. On March 14th, 2020, the CDC had set an order for no sailing in the United States for any cruise line in America. This was enforced because the cruise lines, they thought, would be a big portion of how the Rona situation would increase. This obviously was a huge impact on the cruise sector and brought their ticket sales down to zero, which, for example, whenever it comes to Carnival Cruise, was upwards of 70% of the money that they were making to begin with. And then the rest of that money, aside from some hotel bookings, was on-board sales. So that's not really happening either. So the cruise ships today still have to be paid for where they're parking them and pay the employees and executives and all those things. And there's an average burn rate of about $5.7 million per ship. That's over $1 billion a month that's going towards this industry that's currently at a standstill. And who knows how this industry is going to fare whenever we step back into it. For example, passengers aged 50 plus are the core customer base for almost everyone that steps onto a cruise ship. Now, there is a younger audience that's starting to appear, and that's great news. It's a very Instagrammable style of vacation, on the water, visiting all these different places. So there is a younger generation coming in. But as it stands, the bulk of people that come onto a cruise ship are 50 plus, ranging all the way up into the 70s. And some of these people have already been advised that anyone who is 70 plus, as long as the Rona situation continues, shouldn't think about stepping onto a cruise ship at all, regardless of the safety measures put in place. To make matters worse, even if they do start sailing again, ticket sales are on huge discounts right now to incentivize people to come back. And plus, they may only be able to hold 25 to 40% of the amount of guests that they would before. That is a massive cut in the amount that they would make in past years, 2019, 2018, etc. Imagine just 75% of your core business is gone. Ticket sales, gone. Now, if you guys remember, back whenever this Rona situation had started back in March, there were two cruises, one that landed in Japan and one that was still in Miami, those Diamond Princess cruises that had locked up like 700 plus people with over 7 deaths on board. Trump didn't allow for the passengers to step off the boat, so they were practically just floating hospitals. It's going to be hard to see what sort of impact those two cruises had left on people because they were such hugely broadcasted situations that, if I were to go back and know that there could be a chance that I could be stuck on a cruise, stuck in my small little cabin, floating away for months on end, without any possibility of getting off the boat, I'd want a couple trial runs before I step back on that boat again. Now, the CDC has actually removed the no-sail order from the start of November, but it's conditional. There's a lot of measures put in place that the cruise sector has to follow by in order for them to start sailing again. The new health measures include arriving at cruise terminals at set time slots, screening travelers with temperature checks, health questionnaires, medical reviews, and an antigen Rona swab test. So there are a lot of precautions put in place. So whenever these do come back in, these will all be costs to Carnival or Royal Caribbean just to get started and make more money. That's why they're actually not rushing, and they're going to wait till the new year to hopefully have some more vaccine progress before they get sailing. Some companies have even looked into wristbands to help with contactless options, whether that's opening doors or paying for certain food options or beverages or whatever. These wristbands can also help the cruise lines to help track proximity to other guests or even contact tracing, so then they can keep in contact with these people and test them if they were involved with someone who might have had the Rona. Now, one of the scariest parts about investing in the Carnival cruise sector is that while it's not a needed industry, like I spoke about in the airlines that are a needed industry, this is more for, well, leisure. And that's not exactly a need whenever we talk about going into a recession or something along these lines. Travel, in terms of for pleasure, is not top of the list. But these companies are money printing machines. And whenever a government sees a company, or at least a sector, that has this many jobs, Carnival alone hiring 1.2 million people in the countries that they work in, and the amount of taxes that they pay on all these things, whenever it comes to stimulus, they will be frontline. Maybe behind my Jets video and some of the airlines and other health industries, but these cruise lines will be up there. They are a massive industry. I was even to find for you guys an amazing 10-point guide to show what the hygiene standards are set to for this cruise sector. If you guys will look here from Hapag-Lloyd Cruises, the highest hygiene standard there is. As you see here, we'll run down the board pretty quickly. One, for boarding, they're going to be testing all passengers COVID-19 prior to boarding the vessel, as well as a health questionnaire. We spoke about all this. Mandatory screening by thermal cameras, as well as daily temperature checks on board. The distancing, first of all, 40% less guests. We spoke about that earlier as well. I've even seen some articles talk about as low as 25%. So a distance of 1.5 meters, that's whether they're in elevators or sitting at restaurants, it's all distance like that. Some masks as well that would help with the distance. Crews will undergo this as well. They'll be put in isolation. In addition, they'll have their temperatures checked by a medical team each day before they begin their shift. All crew members will also have to wear face masks. This part's actually my favorite. I love this part. The modern air conditioning systems on board guarantee that the cabins for both guests and crew and public areas are supplied with 100% fresh supply of air. The fresh air is cleaned through a filter. Extracted air is diverted directly outside without being mixed. This is going to be the biggest part, in my opinion. That takes away from all of the circulation throughout the cruise. That is what tore apart the entire Diamond cruise. Although they were all told to be sat in their own cabins, the air filter was just bringing this virus door to door to door to door. With this new air filtering system, that's not going to happen in this new cruise ships. And if they can start to update all of their cruises to do this, let's say they start with 10 right now and they're able to send out that fleet. By the time, like Carnival, for example, has 105 cruises, I'm sure they're not up to date, all of them. But by the time they can start to update these over time, even if there is a new catastrophe or pandemic down the road, they will have these systems set in place. So we spoke about this before. The number of tables at the restaurants will be reduced, as well as a minimum distance of 1.5 meters between tables. No one's going to be close in terms of that. That also slows down the amount of people that will be able to sit, as well as no self-serving buffets at these restaurants anymore. Yeah, so number 6 here is talking about a lot of this. Significantly reducing passenger numbers will allow for a better individual service, which will increase the hygiene standards in their opinion. But like I said, no self-serving buffets or anything along those lines. Entertainment and activities, way fewer participants for these sort of things, as well as shutting down a lot of their large gathering style events. Number 8, I love this one. State-of-the-art hygiene technology. The ships are equipped with thermal body cameras and also a laboratory. The number of disinfectant dispensers on board will be significantly increased to guests and staff. I'm wondering if these will be part of a mandatory thing, or if they're, you can use these disinfectants, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. I don't know. Same thing with the masks. I haven't actually found out if masks from, like, when will they be enforced? Will they be enforced in hallways? They talk about how they can be used in hallways, elevators, all these things. I know elevators are going to be enforced, but where on the cruise ships are they actually going to be enforced full time? And then number 10, it's just talking about how they'll have some health staff on board to make sure that these standards are set and that they are staying enforced. But yeah, an amazing article here. I have a link in my description below. That way you guys can read for it for yourself. This is what the new standard will be for all the cruises. This is the only one that I found that was available for the public and cut out as cleanly as you see it here. But for the most part, this is what Carnival is going to be doing. This is what Norwegian Cruises is going to be doing. This is what Royal Caribbean is going to be doing. And if they don't, they won't be able to sail, and their stock price will plummet, because that's really what we want to see. We want to see ticket sales. We want to see them getting back to normal. Seeing that there is a path for these companies to get back to sailing, I have no doubt in my mind that the survival for this sector will happen. There might be a couple winners that do better than others during this transition, but I don't think many of these companies will be severely impacted. And for the price that they're at right now, I don't see many losses. My next video, I'm going to be posting out of the big 3 publicly traded companies in terms of cruise sector. That would be Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival Cruises. Which one out of the 3 would I personally put my money towards? If you guys have been subscribed to the channel for a little bit, you probably know by now. But that'll probably be tomorrow that I get that one out there. So don't miss that. If you did like this video, tell me what you guys think. Are you optimistic about all these changes? If not, what are the downsides in your opinion? If you could, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And just as a reminder, although I am actually a licensed financial security advisor as my full-time job, none of these stocks or topics that we spoke about today are in any way my recommendation. This is merely my opinion, and you can choose to do what you wish with this information. Bye now.